Okay, so this video today is going to be just on how to use the document grid in Skyline, which is effectively how you build tables for any information you wanted to get out of a Skyline document. You may have heard people, utilize reports from Skyline, and so this is how you get to those reports and use them and build them. So if you go to Settings, View, Live Reports, Document Grid is under there. So if you open this document grid, you will see that there are a variety of default reports. So these reports at the top, the molecule lists, the molecules, the precursors, transitions, and replicates are all default and predefined. And they essentially allow you a great starting point for the various types of reports you want to build. In order to build a custom report, you can start from any of these replicates or any of these molecules. So let's just say that we want to build an example of a report that gives us the peak area for all of the analytes in the replicates. So in this case, you can start with a molecules table, and then just go into reports and go to customize report. So if we hit customize report, it's going to bring up this little dialog, and that allows us to type in whatever name we want and then to add or remove the various molecules. So in this case, all we really want is maybe the molecule and the molecule list, and then we're going to add the peak area. So we can, you use this to delete whatever you don't want. Maybe we want to put the molecule list up front and then the molecule. If there's another identifier we want, usually they'll be listed under this tree, so you can expand this tree and choose anything you want. Maybe we want to add the precursor mass to charge ratio in here as well, just as another piece of metadata. We decided we wanted to have the peak area, so there's probably going to be a number of options for which area we want. So if we just type in area or click area, it's going to give us the total ion current area. So you can just click down through these to decide what particular pieces of information you want. In this case, it takes us pretty quickly to precursor results and total area, which is, I think, what most of us would call, and you can choose, of course, whether or not you want the fragment, a particular fragment area, or the total area. So we're going to choose total area. And then let's just close this and see what it looks like. So in this case, you can see that we have the molecule it was from, the precursor, and then the total area of that molecule. Unfortunately, we're missing a really key piece of information in this case, which is which replicate it came from, which injection. So there's really kind of two ways that you can add that. The first is, if you, of course, go back to Edit Report, the first is to just pivot on the replicate name and then click OK. And what that's going to do is add a column for every replicate. It sort of creates a pivot table, and now for every column for every molecule we have a row, and then each of the replicates are in a column. Sometimes it's also useful to analyze this data in a long table format. So if you wanted a long table format, you can go back to Edit Report and then go in and just add your replicate name into the table itself. And in that case, we would turn off the pivot and just have, essentially, in this case, one row for every replicate, and then obviously the rows would then repeat for each molecule. So you have a replicate name in each row, and then you have an entry for every molecule in your table. This has been a little bit of a whirlwind tour on how to use the document grid. It's a super flexible custom reporting tool. I will say that these are shareable, so if you go into Manage Reports, if you have a table you really like, you can click Share, and it will create a file. So if you need to share that across to other computers or other users, you can share your custom report. And the reports are available in every every document on the computer. So it saves, once you bring it into this particular computer, it saves that as a configuration on the machine. So every Skyline document that you open from there on out has, all these reports that you've built available in it. Anyway, hope you find that useful. Document Grid in Skyline is a really nice way to get out any information that you have from your files into an accessible report that's flexible for your downstream data analysis needs.